Hey, welcome to the channel. So glad you stopped by. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. As you know, family, I have different type of videos. Funny, scary, conspiracy type stuff. But this video here, we're going to go down the rabbit hole. I wonder how many of y'all ever heard of what we're about to look at today.
They're called the Rill. They come up from underground different spots all over the world. There's a 1 to 1.5 foot tall one. That's the Rill Type 1.
The Type 1s are covered in red diamond shaped scales. Rill Type 1s are real dumb.
Little dragons, those are the Rill Type 1. These lizards have a unique biological property of their bodies. The lizards have what's called a proboscis. It's an ejectable brain and spinal column. The small ones they use to drone people because the proboscis on young lizard type 1s, they're small enough to go into an eye and not ruin the eye. This top cap thing on the top of their head comes out. They can do this once in their life. It pulls their spinal column along with it. The human would have to be restrained or unconscious. The thing squiggles in through the eye. It does a spiral around the optic nerve all the way to a certain point, and it's driven there by taste. And they said once it gets there, it has the taste of butterscotch. It then starts what they call mimic kill. The spinal cord stuff comes out of the spinal cord, and it's everything that the lizard is. The lizard's whole body is dead, and it can't go back in. It's one way. The juice that's in the spinal cord gets excreted out of the tip of this thing. They're parasitic cells. The parasitic cells go into the brain. The old person's consciousness is gone. The body is absolutely, totally dominated, and the lizard is smarter as a human. Over time, it'll develop a rash, it'll lose its hair.
And they're actually deficient. They're dumber than the original person.
And they mimic human behavior, and it knows that its life is dependent on it mimicking human behavior, so it does really well. Even with other animals, it's smart enough to instinctually mimic the animal's behavior. The drones of 100 years ago erased any existence of these real lizards from Egyptian carvings on walls. They would smash them, or books that had anything in them about them, they would burn them.
Alright guys, I want to talk about something really quick. So the reason why celebrities show off their left eye, as in Left Eye from TLC, no point intended, is because when they get infected or when they get possessed with a real parasite, which is a little reptilian's baby, if you want to call it that, it enters through the person's eye. Okay, so it enters through the person's eye, it makes its way to the back of the eye, it binds its spine, little tail, to the back of the eye that's connected to the lower left lobe of the brain. That's the part was the easiest for them to access the soul, to control the whole brain. Once that process is completed, they get panda eyes. That part becomes black because the vessel pops. And yes, the soul of that person is completely gone. The parasite is in full control of the body. It's called full demonic possession. And the soul gets devoured by the other demons. Now, you may have heard accounts of Justin Bieber shape-shifting, or Doja Cat not being the same type of person, right? Or Britney Spears going like nuts. It's not that they're crazy, it's that the demons that are in them are in control and they're not fully mature, if that makes sense. Yes, you heard right. It turns a person into a reptilian. Technically, they can shapeshift into a full reptilian. So you're not really selling your soul, you're trading and having your soul devoured. At the end of the day, it's not fucking worth it. Because your true essence, who you really are, is now gone. So in a way, you can say that you're a zombie. And the crazy part is, a lot of celebrities don't know the full context of what a real parasite will do to them. These real parasites are sensitive to light. So I recommend sun gazing once in a while if you think you have some. Now, these parasites, can pop out anywhere in the world. They come out from underground. They can fall from the sky. You name it, right? They can jump on your pets. You can bring them home through that way. Another sign that you may have them is if you stare off into space. That's them in you, making you open a portal through staring off into space. They try to get you when you're not fully conscious. Now, a shaman can exorcise them out, but if that were to happen, you would fully die because your body is depending on that parasite. So that parasite is now keeping that body alive, if that makes sense. So then now that's how soul transfer is possible. That real parasite jumps into another body. That's why the elite call them bodysuits. It's just a body.
You know how they cover up their one eye?
Oh yeah.
That means two things. That means watch out, you don't get the lizard to stick the thing in the eye.
And then they go, shh.
Yeah.
Now you know the reason they're doing that. It's like, don't get the thing in your eye, and shh. Don't tell anybody you know about the things that stick the things in your eye, because you might get a thing in your eye.
Man,
Or
who's
killed.
These lizards are smarter than a chimpanzee, and they're saying that this is probably the thing that's going to cause the greatest stir in human history, finding out about the parasite lizards. People have kept them secret because in the past they used to think they were magic. They didn't know what parasites were. But I'm not sure of their origins, but they are the highly evolved lizard species. They're reptilian. They actually have said that they're not actually lizard. They're saurian, as in dinosaurian. They said that they lived past the cataclysm that killed the dinosaurs because they were so far underground. Anyway, different religious cultures and sects and stuff started interacting with them. China was big into them. Israel was big into them. They're underground in like different regions all around the world, and there's even different factions of Vril. That's their name, the Vril. That's the common name they all call themselves. They can say the word themselves, Vril. The lizards can talk. Basic speech. They sound like they follow helium. The small ones, the first type ones. They were all asking me, what are we going to do, Darnie? We don't want to kill you. It's disturbing to look at them talking to you. The lizards come up from underneath the deep bases, and they hang there with all the clones in the cloning floor, and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. They have little stairs made for the stupid things and everything. They walk right up and they sit around in the stands with them and everything. It's sick. Some people don't like sitting near them. They smell funny and they're really creepy looking. So they sit on the other side. They fight there sometimes and have the clones sit there and watch them. That's how I got in contact with them. I met them at the cloning center as a clone. I met these stupid things when I was a kid there. I pretended to like them when I was a kid because I couldn't believe it was stuck on me. They're like, meet the Vril. I'm like, that's not real, that's a puppet. And I'm like, it's no puppet. That's something you guys made because they make splice things, but no, they're natural things, creatures. Well, they showed me the biology of them out there. Perfect human killing machines. They included me into some kind of a torture spectacle. They'd chain me up, and people get like aroused there in the stands at watching it, the screaming and stuff. And lizards, Vrils, The lizards really love it. It's like music to them. They got built-in sonar. They're real sensitive to sound and light because they're basically subterranean troglodytes, like trolls, basically. They are trolls. Well, they're really paranoid. They're parasitic creatures. Parasitic psychology is really cowardly. They slink around in the dark, have humans help them. If they're seen, they're discovered and it's ruined. Secrecy is part of a lizard's religion. Parasite psychology hide in the shadows. Once it's proven, once you see a crab, I call them crab nasties, once you see a real body on television, and then people know what the proboscis does, and then someone says the percentage of the population that has been droned, it could lead to panic, riots, loss of social order, martial law, all that, and that could be the end of the world spiral down. The Illuminati are basically using me to expose these lizards in an eloquent way because none of them want to be the first person out so that they'll die.
Thank you for watching. I do hope it stirred up something in your mind and you do some research. So until next time.